Calabasas High, and welcome back to Pretty Please, where Eddie spills the tea. It is I, your host today, bringing you the hottest tea in Calabasas High. Newsflash, folks, we have a fresh face here in Cala High, far from good old Ohio, and he plays the guitar. In another news, the Caligators basket team sacked the Beverly Chipmunks last week. Mark your calendars, folks, for the senior prom. Your mid-spring fling night will be exactly in 1 month. We'll be seeing the lady killer of Calabasas, Zach Zabrowski, dancing the night away with Diamond Lucy Lovelace. Now that's a friend that I know I will not miss.
Hey, Papa, what you looking for?
Oh, nothing lah. Just looking through my box.
Box? What box
Aiya, nothing. Just want to look through my stuff.
Oh, come I help. Ui, got radio tab So already. Can I listen
Papa also not sure what this is. You play for me, can?
Pemali? Okay, Papa. Wait
13 Mei 1969. Titik paling gelap di sejarah tanah Melaya dan hidupku sendiri. Tidak mau aku lupa selama aku hidup di dunia yang kejam ini.
Keputusan pilihan raya 1969 telah menimbulkan ketegangan. Seperti yang dikatakan Tun Abdul Razak, walaupun sudah merdeka, kita gagal menjaga keharmonian bersama.
Perempuan tu takkan berikan kau kegembiraan.
Ayah gembira ke? Cakap kepada Jamal yang ayah benar-benar gembira dalam hidup ni.
Aku telah tahu hati ini harus menghindar. Namun kenyataannya aku tak bisa.
Meli, tunggu. Tolong tunggu.
Awak janji akan sentiasa di sisiku?
Aku janji. Calabasas High, and welcome back to Pretty Please, where Eddie spills the tea. It is I, your host today, bringing you the hottest tea in Calabasas High. Newsflash, folks, we have a fresh face here in Cala High, far from good old Ohio, and he plays the guitar. In another news, the Caligators basket team sacked the Beverly Chipmunks last week. Mark your calendars, folks, for the senior prom. Your mid-spring fling night will be exactly in 1 month. We'll be seeing the lady killer of Calabasas, Zach Zabrowski, dancing the night away with Diamond Lucy Lovely. Now, that's a friend that I know I will not miss.
Hey, Papa, what you looking for?
Oh, nothing lah. Just looking through my box.
Box? What box?
Nothing. Just want to look through my stuff.
Come I help. Ui, got radio tape So already. Can I listen
Papa also not sure what this is. You play for me, can?
Pemali? Okay, Papa. Wait
13 Mei 1969. Titik paling gelap di sejarah tanah Melaya dan hidupku sendiri. Tidak mau aku lupa selama aku hidup di dunia yang kejam ini.
Keputusan pilihan raya 1969 telah menimbulkan ketegangan. Seperti yang dikatakan Tun Abdul Razak, walaupun sudah merdeka, kita gagal menjaga keharmonian bersama.
Perempuan tu takkan berikan kau kegembiraan.
Ayah gembira ke? Cakap kepada Jamal yang ayah benar-benar gembira dalam hidup ni.
Aku telah tahu hati ini harus menghindar. Namun kenyataannya aku tak bisa.
Meli, tunggu. Tolong tunggu.
Awak janji akan sentiasa di sisiku?
Aku janji.
Good morning, Calabasas High, and welcome back to Pretty Please, where Eddie spills the tea. It is I, your host today, bringing you the hottest tea in Calabasas High. Newsflash, folks, we have a fresh face here in Cala High, far from good old Ohio, and he plays the guitar. In another news, the Caligators basket team sacked the Beverly Chipmunks last week. Mark your calendars, folks, for the senior prom. Your mid-spring fling night will be exactly in 1 month. We'll be seeing the lady killer of Calabasas, Zach Zabrowski, dancing the night away with Diamond Lucy Lovelace. Now that's a friend that I know I will not miss.
Hey, Papa, what you looking for? Oh, nothing lah. Just looking through my box. Box? What box Aiya, nothing. Just want to look through my stuff. Oh, come I help. Ui, got radio tab So already. Can I listen Papa also not sure what this is. You play for me, can? Pemali? Okay, Papa. Wait
13 Mei 1969. Titik paling gelap di sejarah tanah Melaya dan hidupku sendiri. Tidak mau aku lupa selama aku hidup di dunia yang kejam ini.
Keputusan pilihan raya 1969 telah menimbulkan ketegangan. Seperti yang dikatakan Tun Abdul Razak, walaupun sudah merdeka, kita gagal menjaga keharmonian bersama.
Perempuan tu takkan berikan kau kegembiraan.
Ayah gembira ke? Cakap kepada Jamal yang ayah benar-benar gembira dalam hidup ni.
Aku telah tahu hati ini harus menghindar. Namun kenyataannya aku tak bisa.
Meli, tunggu. Tolong tunggu.
I'm sorry, my camera isn't really working right now for a while. But after the stream ends,
Janji
I'll
akan
show you guys
sentiasa
my
di
face.
sisiku.
It's an honor getting to meet you guys.
Aku janji.
It's really nice working with you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Maybe
Good morning, Calabasas High, and welcome back to Pretty Please, where Eddie spills the tea. It is I, your host today, bringing you the hottest tea in Calabasas High. Newsflash, folks, we have a fresh face here in Cala High, far from good old Ohio, and he plays the guitar. In another news, the Calligators basket team sacked the Beverly Chipmunks last week. Mark your calendars, folks, for the senior prom. Your mid-spring fling night will be exactly in 1 month. We'll be seeing the lady killer of Calabasas, Zach Zabrowski, dancing the night away with Diamond Lucy Lovely. Now that's a friend that I know I will not miss.
Hey, Papa, what you looking for? Oh, nothing lah. Just looking through my box. Box? What box oh? Aiya, nothing. Just want to look through my stuff. Oh, come I help. Ui, got radio tab wow. So ready. Can I listen ah? Papa also not sure what this is. You play for me, Ken? Pemali? Okay, Papa. Wait ah.
Mei 1969. Titik paling gelap di sejarah tanah Melaya dan hidupku sendiri. Tidak mau aku lupa selama aku hidup di dunia yang kejam ini.
Keputusan pilihan raya 1969 telah menimbulkan ketegangan. Seperti yang dikatakan Tun Abdul Razak, walaupun sudah merdeka, kita gagal menjaga keharmonian bersama.
Perempuan tu takkan berikan kau kegembiraan.
Ayah gembira ke? Cakap kepada Jamal yang ayah benar-benar gembira dalam hidup ni.
Aku telah tahu hati ini harus menghindar. Namun kenyataannya aku tak bisa.
Meli, tunggu. Tolong tunggu.
Awak janji akan sentiasa di sisiku?
Aku janji.
Calabasas High, and welcome back to Pretty Please, where Eddie spills the tea. It is I, your host today, bringing you the hottest tea in Calabasas High. Newsflash, folks, we have a fresh face here in Cala High, far from good old Ohio, and he plays the guitar. In the 90 news, the Caligators basket team sacked the Beverly Chipmunks last week. Mark your calendars, folks, for the senior prom. Your mid-spring fling night will be exactly in 1 month. We'll be seeing the lady killer of Calabasas, Zach Zabrowski, dancing the night away with Diamond Lucy Lovelace. Now that's a friend that I know I will not miss.
Hey, Papa, what you looking for? Oh, nothing lah. Just looking through my box. Box? What box nothing. Just want to look through my stuff. Oh, come I help. Ui, got radio tab So already. Can I listen Papa also not sure what this is. You play for me, can? Pemali? Okay, Papa. Wait
13 Mei 1969. Titik paling gelap di sejarah tanah Melaya dan hidupku sendiri. Tidak mau aku lupa selama aku hidup di dunia yang kejam ini.
Keputusan pilihan raya 1969 telah menimbulkan ketegangan. Seperti yang dikatakan Tun Abdul Razak, walaupun sudah merdeka, kita gagal menjaga keharmonian bersama.
Perempuan tu takkan berikan kau kegembiraan.
Ayah gembira ke? Cakap kepada Jamal yang ayah benar-benar gembira dalam hidup ni.
Aku telah tahu hati ini harus menghindar. Namun kenyataannya aku tak bisa.
Meli, tunggu. Tolong tunggu.
Awak janji akan sentiasa di sisiku?
Aku janji.
morning, Calabasas High, and welcome back to Pretty Please, where Eddie spills the tea. It is I, your host today, bringing you the hottest tea in Calabasas High. Newsflash, folks, we have a fresh face here in Cala High, far from good old Ohio, and he plays the guitar. In the 90 news, the Caligators basket team sacked the Beverly Chipmunks last week. Mark your calendars, folks, for the senior prom. Your mid-spring fling night will be exactly in 1 month. We'll be seeing the lady killer of Calabasas, Zach Zabrowski, dancing the night away with Diamond Lucy Lovelace. Now that's a friend that I know I will not miss.
Hey, Papa, what you looking for? Oh, nothing lah. Just looking through my box. Box? What box nothing. Just want to look through my stuff. Oh, come I help. Ui, got radio tab So already. Can I listen Papa also not sure what this is. You play for me, can? Pemali? Okay, Papa. Wait
13 Mei 1969. Titik paling gelap di sejarah tanah Melaya dan hidupku sendiri. Tidak mau aku lupa selama aku hidup di dunia yang kejam ini.
We're live. So, hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, welcome everyone to TAMU Talk on set. Hi, my name is Alia. I'm just gonna introduce myself. So, I am Alia. final year student engineering from MMU. So tonight I'll be the host for TAMU Talk on set, where we'll discuss on the topic of an considerably underground, underrated art performance, which is theatre. So tonight we have our guests, our respective guests, 3 guests from the theatre industry. But before that, I would like to explain on the videos that we played on loop just now. It's actually from the events that we have previously in our club. So it was Kuntum, our latest, very recent theatre, and then we have voice drama. Voice drama was done during MCO. Due to MCO, so we cannot do theatre, so we made a voice drama. So it's called Pemali, which was staged in the era where 1940s, during the during the 13 May incident, where the racial issues happened. And then we also have TAMU Talk trailer and Take 10, You'll Know My Name. All right. So let me explain a bit on the idea of this show. Well, this talk show, virtual talk show, was done because actually, as a group of theatre enthusiasts, we actually miss talking about theatre physically. After that theatre session, after that, every time like we have a theatre event or we went to a theatre, and then after that we always have like a time where we assemble and then macam lepak and then discuss on the theatre. So macam now that we cannot watch theatres anymore due to MCO, but I see that there are some online theatres. So this show was done for that, so that we can all like assemble and talk about theatre again, and also to give insight to MMU students who are passionate in theatre on how the theatre industry works. So all the time it's just us, working in theatre, having fun ourselves. So we never really know what it is really like outside there in the real world. It must be really scary, but it must be really fun, right? I mean, that's why people still do it. So let's jump to that. So this is a very chilled lepa chit chat, teh tarik session. So we have our drinks here. Let's give it cheers. Yeah.
Good start.
Yeah. What drink is that, Chris? Is it
apple cranberry juice?
Wow.
5 ringgit from Mr. What's that new stall which sells everything for 2 ringgit and 5 ringgit? Mr. Ringgit.
Yeah.
What it's called?
Okay.
My new favorite stall.
I'm sure everyone is having
All I can
drinks,
afford
right?
right now.
Having juice during talk show. That's quite rare, actually. All right. So I hope everyone have their drinks ready because let's start our chit chat session, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
All right. But before that, I would like, before I introduce our amazing guest tonight, I would like to invite Min first, the director of the talk show, TAMU Talk on set, to say a few words to us. So, Min?
Hear ye. Thank you so much to our beautiful host Alia. As I sit here, super stoked of what my team and I have put together for this very night. Before that, let me introduce myself. I go by the name of Min Suraya Razali, and I happen to be the director of the talk show you're currently tuning into. So, despite having to be in separate places, I think tonight will be an incredible night. Why you ask? Let this be a milestone in the history of Malaysian universities to make room, in a way, to provide a platform where we can all appreciate the art of theatre. So as a matter of fact, TAMU has actually managed to have many events in the past ever since its first establishment back in the early 2000s. So ranging from talent shows to theatre productions, but tonight we go back to the basics. So we all gather here sharing the same passion. But not only that, we also have first-handedly experienced what goes on behind the scenes before that one important night where the script comes to life. Hence, the birth of this segment, On Set. So I also believe that some of us have worked in the production team and the management team, but I believe, or to even be closely working with them. In a way, theater does teach us the value of teamwork. After many nights of amendments, trainings, and also problem solving, but the outcome is as equally as satisfying when it finally goes live. The audience only sees what we choose to deliver on stage, but TAMU Talk on set unveils what goes on behind the curtains. So, if you notice, there's an astronaut blasting out of our trailer and also especially in our main poster. In a way, we are delivering a message that theater makes us go above and beyond. Like, for instance, cast acting out the characters in the script, and especially not to forget the scriptwriter who writes down their imagination and makes it a theater production. The possibilities are endless in the world of theater. So, before my speech gets too draggy, grab some chips, drink some teh tarik, sit back, relax, and it could just feel like a catch-up session with friends on a Saturday night. And with that, I would like to welcome our amazing guests as well as the audience watching back home of TAMU's very first talk show, TAMU Talk on Set. Enjoy!
Okay. So there goes the speech from our director, Min. Now, let's get back to our chit-chat session. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Let's just have some drink first. I think it's good to have some drink first before we start. Okay. Now, I would like to introduce our guests. So tonight we have three guests, our amazing three guests. So first, let me introduce Christopher Ling. So Christopher Ling, also known as, we call you Chris, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Christopher or Chris. Okay. So Chris is the co-founder and artistic director of Malaysian Theatre Collective, Theatre 360, right? And his work was as a director of plays, operas, and musical, which has been seen in Malaysia, Singapore, and London. His latest projects are Mad Love, a series of interconnected monologues under BM Theatre Company, which is Revolution Stage, which premieres online last month, right? And Christopher was also trained in drama and theatre arts in Middlesex University, UK, with the National Youth Theatre of Great Britain. That's a very good bio right there. So, Chris, would you like to add on to your introduction? Like anything interesting that you want to add?
My favorite color is blue.
Oh.
That's why I'm.
I see. I like the fact that you're wearing your favorite color tonight.
Yeah, need the help of my favorite color, and the drink, the apple juice helps too. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Cheers. Cheers. So I'm wearing my favorite color too, lilac tonight.
All right, awesome.
Okay, so there is Christopher Ling. Chris, can you say hi again?
Hi everyone. Hi, nice to meet all of you.
Okay, next up we have CK Tan. So, CK Tan, let me read a bit about him. So, CK Tan Che Kian is a Bornean Sabahan who made the leap from an oil and gas engineering sales specialist to become a theatre practitioner in 2018. So, I think CK, you can talk more about this, right? Because I'm afraid that I don't give enough information about you. From an engineer to a theatre practitioner, can you tell us more on that?
Okay. Um, I want to show my T-shirt also what I'm wearing.
I know that T-shirt. It looks very familiar.
Yeah, seems like we are showing the favorite color, everything. No, this is a T-shirt of the musical production I did in 2019, and Chris was involved also. Chris is our set designer as well. So, yeah, we were talking about how long we have not been doing production, and when I'm wearing this, it kind of like and seeing Chris and Joe, yeah, we cannot do theater, we cannot have production, but we can talk about it. Yes, a little bit about myself. As Alia mentioned, I spent 15 years, around 15 years, working as in a different industry. Um, I'm chemical engineer by training, and I'm involved. I work in oil and gas industry for the past 7 years. That includes my time in Singapore as well. So I spent about 9 years in Singapore before I came back to Malaysia in 2018. And since then, I'm working full time in theater production. And I joined Instagraphy Theatre since 2020 last year as producer. And I'm privileged enough to be working with Joe, our artistic director. And last year we did two interesting work, I think. One is actually the live Zoom theater, which I think we will talk about it later a little bit more. And also a screening of our previous production, Nadira. So, yep, a little bit about myself. That's all. Am I answering your question?
Yes, you did. So that's very interesting. So you started in the production as an actor or writer?
Okay, I hope I can skip this part, but I didn't. Well, I didn't tell you a little bit about my involvement. Oh, okay. Back in 2017, when I was still working in Singapore as in oil and gas industry, I had a chance to work with a production called My Grandfather's Road, which is basically it's an autobiographical production of our producer, who is also the writer, a family story. At the same time, it's also about the Singapore history. So I had a privilege to work with him as a performer without any experience, and also help him with the script itself, because the production was in Cantonese. So that was in 2017, and then I decided that I decided that I'm having a midlife crisis. So I made a decision to resign and do something else. So so before that, that means that before I come back to Malaysia, I have experience working in a production as performer and scriptwriter. And then when I come back to Malaysia, a lot of my work is actually producing. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So next up, we have as our guest tonight, Joe Kukatas, an actor, writer, director of the Instant Cafe Theatre, best known for its satirical political theatre, although it also has staged everything from Shakespeare to contemporary plays to new Malaysian writing. So, Joe, would you like to introduce more on yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all on this Saturday night. My name is Joe. I started doing theatre in Malaysia in 1987. 1986, I think. I think 1986 was the first production that I did. I just left university, and I'd come back to Malaysia to get a job in the real world. I had a degree in politics and philosophy. I didn't know I wanted to do theatre, but I'd always been very interested in the performing arts, although I didn't study the performing arts. I was looking for a place where I felt I could fit, and I went along for an audition for a production, and I didn't get a role, but I got a offer to come and help out backstage, come and help sweep the floor, help tidy up before actors got there, and just observe and help in whatever way I could. So I said, yes, of course, I'll do that. And a few weeks into the production, into rehearsals, one of the actors pulled out of the production. She couldn't commit any longer. So the director said, would you take over? Because the play was a devised production. So we were devising sketches. So, and I had sometimes in rehearsals jumped in and helped out in some of the sketches in devising things. Even though I knew I wasn't going to be in the performance, I would help out in some of the rehearsals. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And so that's how I ended up getting my first role in theatre. But I found that theatre was that place that I met other people who I could communicate with. And it was a place where I felt I could say something which I wanted to say. So I decided to stay there in theatre. And here I am many years later, still doing theatre and encouraging people to do the same, even though it may be a tough place. A tough world, a tough life, but once you meet your tribe, once you meet the people that you think, well, this is kind of what makes sense to me, you should stay there because it's hard to find that, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Hard to find that.
I see. Well, that's a nice story there. So,
I guess I tell you the story also because a lot of the time people, want to go into the performing arts, they don't really know how. And I always tell people, just go. If you're meant to be there, if your heart's in it, just go and join a production. Don't worry about what it is you'll be doing. Just go and be part of it in some way, and you'll find out. A lot of people go into the theatre and they want to be actors, but some people are not cut up to be actors, maybe temperamentally or for whatever reason. But they will find that they are all creative people, and that's all you need to be in theatre. You just need to be creative. What your area of creativity might be is varied, but you should just go and join, and you'll discover it when you're there.
Yep, I agree with that. It's just start, right? Just start doing it. You don't need a specific way to start something. Just go for it. As MFU always said, our catchphrase is go for it.
How about yourself, Alia?
How did I start?
Yeah, how about yourself?
Okay. So
we turn the table now.
okay. So I started being part of theatre actually when I was in my foundation year, which was in 2017, I think. No, 2016. When I was 18 years old. I'm 22 now. So at that time, my friend, he told me about a theatre audition. So I was like, oh, like, my friends always tell me like, oh, you can be an actor or something like that. But like, no. So I just I have interest in like expressing yourself, in this it's theatre, expressing in terms of acting. So I went for the audition, and then I got a very, very small part. It was a doctor's friend, a very minor part. Just one scene out of like 10 scenes. And then from there, I started to observe from different angles, not just in acting, but I also involved in sponsorship, in stage managing, and then I became the director. And now here I am. I've directed the voice drama as well. it's a whole new experience. It's like it's here and there. It's not just acting, and I think I'm grateful for it because it made me who I am today. So yeah, theater has made me who I am today. That's a bit about me. Now I turn the table again. Boom. Okay, so um, since you guys have been in the industry, right? So you have your own organizations. So Christopher, you have your organization is Theater 360, correct?
That's
So
right.
can you tell us more on that? Like how did you start the organization?
Okay. Well, it's quite simple. From 2008 to 2013, I was working with the Kuala Lumpur Performing Arts Centre. At the end of my time there in 2013, in 2014, I decided that taking words that you all are talking about tonight, right? That phrase, "go for it." So I told myself 6 years ago now, crazy. I don't know why I did it, but 6 years ago I said, just go for it, just do it, right? And a group of us, a group of um, friends, we formed Theatre 360. The thing about Theatre 360, which is quite ironic, is the fact that it's an old well, hold on, let me get my words right. It's an new old theatre company. Yes, that's right. It's a new old theatre company because when Theatre 360 was formed in 2014, the 5 people that were the key members of the collective at that time were all people who have been doing theatre for at least a few years already. And what Theatre 360 actually did for us was it provided us a common brand, right, to put all of our work under. So basically what happened was the 5 original founding members of Theatre 360 in 2014, we all parked our work under that umbrella. So at that time, that version of Theatre 360, we wanted to look at dance, we wanted to look at physical theatre, of course, contemporary theatre, Shakespeare, whatever live performance to see we could encompass as many different facets of performing arts as we could. Of course, there are many challenges, and of course now the company is now going into its 7th year. We celebrate our 7th anniversary at the end of March this year. And in that time, we have discovered that as a company, we are more attuned to doing. I would do the contemporary theatre stuff. When we started off as an English-based theatre company, very much English-based work. We have been looking at physical theatre. I think one or two. I think more hybrid physical theatre, dance performances, a bit of device theatre. But one of the very interesting things is, so of course, as you know, a company that's 6-7 years old. I mean, we take our hats off to a company like Instant Cafe Theatre. I mean, we really look to you all for guidance. We look to you all for support. Look to you all as a model to follow. And I'm sure the case is the same, that as the theatre company grows, many things change. The theatre company now the group. The founding group has now changed to 3 people, three persons, 3 company partners. The work is very much focused in those areas of contemporary theatre and physical theatre and those sort of things. However, one of the things that I've personally been exploring in the last 2 to 3 years is this. When I was working at KLPAC, one of my preoccupations was wondering what Malaysian theatre is, right? What is Malaysian theatre? Yes, I'm sure we know it's multicultural, multilingual, all of those sort of things. So for myself, I tried to work out for myself what does that mean. And you've got to lead by example, right? So I could be the first one to step into all these other different areas of theatre. And as you know, Malaysian theatre scene is unfortunately broken up into all these different silos by language and all, and it's really ridiculous, but well, that's the way it is, at least for now. But so for myself, what happened was with Theatre 360, it gave myself and my fellow founding members and our company partners to have the opportunity to explore different things, right? Because we become the producing house. We are no longer, we don't have to go through all kinds of red tape. We can sort ourselves out. We have to find our own resources and all that sort of thing. So what we did was, for myself, I decided, okay, if I'm going to explore this idea of Malaysian theatre, then maybe I should immerse myself in theatre of a different language, right? So here's this English theatre guy walking into Revolution Stage. Revolution Stage is Project Bilik Sempit, which is in Pelangi Damansara. This is about 2 to 3 years ago now. This Chinaman walking into, a very interesting, very vibrant, very dynamic theatre community. So for myself, something that I've really enjoyed doing in the last 2 to 3 years is, first of all, networking with our fellow theatre community in BM Theatre, but also to be able to direct BM productions and also to act a little bit. It's really scary. Not sure if I'll repeat that again, but I did some acting in February of 2019 as well, in a BM production as well. So just trying to challenge myself, trying to put myself out there, trying to, just try to see how that synergy works, right? And for me, I think the interesting thing that you all need to know about me is that, you have the opportunity, like for myself, so I'm English theatre, so I have the opportunity to bridge BM theatre. Okay, that makes it's a obvious choice because we studied in BM, everything is in BM, right? English is my mother tongue, BM is my second. You would think I would go into Chinese theatre first, but Chinese theatre is actually my last because I had an opportunity to work with Phenomena Seni Pentas, the only Tamil speaking, one of the only Tamil speaking theatre companies in Malaysia. Did some work with them in 2017, I think. So I've yet to actually work with a Chinese theatre company because I'm from a Peranakan background. So my BM is way better than my Chinese. Okay, I'll shut up now. I think I said too much.
So, you actually studied in the UK in theatre,
Yes,
right?
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So you started the organization right after you came back to Malaysia, is it?
No, actually, what happened was I graduated in 1997. In fact, I came back the week that the financial crisis happened, and the exchange rate jumped, to 8 ringgit to the pound.
Wow.
So that was 1997. Yeah, really exciting times.
But lucky you came back that time,
Yeah,
right?
I wasn't even born at that time.
But what happened was when I came back, when I graduated in 1997, in 1998 I did my very first play with Five Arts Centre, a really wonderful site-specific immersive theatre production called Family, which we really enjoyed. I have such good memories of that production from all those many years ago, 1998. And then what happened was I formed a theatre company, actually, my first theatre company in 2000 and 2001. Rep 21, but it's more well known for its youth theatre wing, Rep 1621. And then after that, I worked with my church for a few years, and then worked with KLPAC. But Joe, as you were saying, you were saying 1986 was your first involvement with theatre. I mean, for myself, my first involvement with theatre was in 1987. My class teacher, because I was busy being teacher's pet, right? So yeah, guaranteed lah. But to see being teacher's pet in 1987, I was literally Shanghai and forced to direct our interclass drama competition. Yeah. And I mean, wow, that was a real game changer, real life changer. Yeah. So yes, Alia, so that's the way it fits. So actually, this is my second attempt at forming a theatre company. Yeah.
So Theatre 360 is still quite young, right?
It is, yes. We have much to learn.
Yeah.
As young as Chris.
Thank you.
Yes.
I shall toast you. Cheers, CK.
Can I join?
Sure. I'm having Chinese tea only, so I pack them.
My second would be green tea.
Oh, already got a menu. Okay,
Yeah, that must be.
so that's very interesting. I have one more question for Chris. What
Sure.
is your like goal for your organization? Your main goal?
When we were first formed in 2014, it was to to make arts accessible, to make the performing arts accessible. At that time, it was the arts in general, accessible to anyone and everyone, to be able to look at a particular circumstance or situation from many different angles, being able to also build up new directors, new stage managers, new actors for the industry. A lot to do also with audience development. Yeah, so that was the focus. Of course, in the last 6 to 7 years, things have slowly changed. There's more focus now. We're very focused on audience development in that sense. Yeah, so those sort of things. And of course, my my it's becoming quite regular. My forays now into BM theatre, which I'm really really enjoying. I mean, I really do agree with what you said, Joe, earlier about community. When you find your tribe, you should stick with it. Really, yes, I totally agree with that. I mean, working with Revolution Stage over these last 2 years in limited capacities, of course, but whenever I've had a chance to interface and work with them, wow, that's really been something. When you find community, really, you got to hold on, you got to do everything to protect it. Yeah.
When you said about Malaysian theatre just now, it really like hit me like, yeah, what is Malaysian theatre actually? And like I start to see theatre as a way to unite Malaysians actually from different walks of life. So yeah, that is a very good insight. It kind of
It
opens
is
up.
very much so. Yeah, it is very much so. Because what is theatre all about? Right, a reflection of life, a reflection of all of the. I mean, right at its base level, right? It's that. Yeah,
Mm.
be able to tie in to get discussion going, discourse going. Yeah, one of the best ways.
Thank you, Chris.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
all right. So our next production, let's move to Joe. ICT, Instant Cafe Theatre Company. So it's been around for almost, it's been 30 years, right? More than 30 years, is it?
31.
31. Wow. That's, oh my God, that's like two-thirds of, no, I'm two-thirds of that age. Am I doing my maths correctly? So that's, wow, that's very impressive. So Joe, can you tell us more on that? Like, how did you found the company, cafe or company? What is it, please?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting listening. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what Chris said as well, because I mean, as Chris explained, he had a theatre company before, then he joined KL Pack, then he formed his own theatre company. I've been with Instant Cafe for 31 years, but Instant Cafe today is not the same Instant Cafe that it was in 1989. The companies change because we change, we get older, different people come into the theatre company. I always like to think of Instant Cafe as being a kind of revolving door, right? And that for me, everyone is welcome, and to be there as long as you like, right? To contribute what you can, contribute what you want, and learn in that space as well. And then when you feel that your time you want to move somewhere, you can. I mean, I have this policy, or rather, this kind of philosophy, because I think that not everyone knows what they want when they first join theatre, right? They're trying to figure it out.
True, true.
And some people have come and been part of Instant Cafe, and then they've gone on to form their own theatre companies, which I always also find really quite exciting, because it means that maybe because they want to create a different kind of theatre from maybe what Instant Cafe is known for. So we were all known, especially very early on, for our political work. And some people came and joined us, they were more interested in other kinds of theatre. Or some people came and joined us, and then they wanted to make their own kind of political work. So it's it's shifted a lot over the years, and my interests have shifted as well. A lot of people still want me to do the kind of instant cafe comedy and the instant cafe political satire. But as I get older, I feel I think there's a lot of people doing that now. We have a much more critical society now than we did when I first started doing theatre. So when I first started doing theatre, for me, it was like, let's make theatre which will make people think and make people feel unafraid to talk about things that they were traditionally told they should not talk about, politics, religion, race, tension between ethnic groups. Let's the NEP, you know, social differences, poverty, and let's talk about it quite openly. And let's use comedy, let's use humor. So now I find there's quite a lot of people using humor, using comedy. So it made me feel, you know what, I don't feel the burden to do that anymore. I don't feel the burden to make that my main theatre. Frankly, I really love tragedy. In fact, I often wish I could do more tragedy. I find tragedy quite cathartic. And so very early on, you know, we were like, well, let's not get pigeonholed. Let's not have people say that's exactly what you do. So we always wanted to do new things. And like Chris, I think I never liked these divisions: English language, Malay language, Chinese language, theatre. And I now refuse to use it. You can call me that if you like, but actually I don't like it, right? And I will tell people, like, if I have to interview other media, I will say, no, we're not an English language theatre company. For me, we're just a theatre company because we do work in whatever language is necessary that we feel that production needs. I like Chris, I really enjoy directing works in Malay, even though Malay is not my first language. I'm still waiting for it to do when I can get to direct a play in Chinese, but I'm looking forward to that. I've been saying that in my head for a long time, and I've only directed a little bit with one actor in Tamil, even though I also don't speak Tamil. I'm actually very monolingual in many ways. But I really like working across languages. When I've worked in Japan, I really enjoy directing actors in a language I don't understand. I've done workshops in Brazil where I'm directing actors who are speaking Portuguese. For me, one thing that's very exciting about theatre is that actually you can transcend the language because you're trying to understand what's going on in the body of that actor by body language, not just by the verbal language. So for me, it's you know, we can think about our differences in Malaysia, of course, and there's nothing wrong with having differences. We do have differences. We have different religions. We have different opinions. I don't think we should pretend we're all. I hate one Malaysia as a slogan because there's no such thing as one Malaysia. I may have you, Alia, may have something more in common with somebody from Turkey or from Mexico, right? Who have some interests similar to you, than you may have from somebody from your own hometown. That's just the way the world is nowadays. We have interests, and that's what connects us, right? So I don't think that language is what is dividing us in this country. It's not. What's dividing us is our not wanting to really communicate and not wanting to have empathy, not wanting to have understanding of each other. And I think that's why, for me, telling stories, tell somebody else's story, somebody not from your immediate family. Reach further. The further away you go, the more interesting it is. Like for myself as an actor, I like playing characters who are nothing like me.
Yeah.
Further the way they are for me, and I'm sure Alia, you understand this.
Yeah,
the
I
more
do.
interesting it is because the more free you can be. So for me, I want to know a story. I'm trying to get CK to write a play from Sabah because I want to know. I'm very selfish. I want to know more about Sabahan people, and I want to hear the music of the language of Sabah on our stage. We don't hear that often enough.
Yeah, true.
So that's what it is. You know, we may not understand the words, but we'll hear a different music, and we will understand a different humanity when we hear them speaking the language of their heart.
I like that. So in other words, to you, theater is like the bridge to all languages, to all different kinds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting actually. Whoa. And so ICT actually focuses on like being outspoken, right? About the current issues that people don't really talk about. I think.
Well, I think that's one thing. Of course, we do. I mean, as I said, it's a constantly evolving company. I would like to think that we're not going to be pigeonholed, which I think is also very important.
Understood. So you're not like restricting anything to your company, because it's always evolving, and
Yeah.
I totally understand that.
Yeah, I mean, some years ago, I started telling some very personal stories, and for me, that's also good. It's also fine. I love theatre, which is deeply personal as well.
And I also like the fact that you use comedy to to tell the message,
Mm.
and in TAMU also we also try to implement comedy because we think that that's the way of to attract people to hear the message. I think that's very interesting. And
Yeah, if I can add something, before joining Joe in 2020, I was an audience of Instant Cafe's work before this.
Mhm.
So I have this. I think this is the general, maybe a bit of stereotypical impression of Instant Cafe, that it's a company that deal a lot with political satire. But once I have a chance to work and look at the past works and the past productions that Instant Cafe have done, is not just comedy and political satire. Like Joe mentioned just now, there's a lot of personal stories and tragedy, like Rush and yeah. So it's not a company that just it's a company that gone through a lot of changes with the person who are in the company, changes with the community that the company works with, and also the change. We cannot run away from the changes of the country that we are at. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't think
so in other words, ICT is a very flexible platform, flexible company, right?
I remember when we started in 1989, and we were sitting one night. We took us forever trying to find out what should our name be. Really, days and days just talking. Wow, what should our name be? I think we got very drunk one night, and that's how we came up with this name. Then we were trying to write our manifesto, and we couldn't write our manifesto. So in the end, we said our manifesto is very simple. Our manifesto is we have no manifesto. and then that allowed us to be, I think, kind of I think as artists we're constantly trying to be honest, right? We're trying to understand ourselves, and we're trying to understand the society in which we live. So if we decide too many things too early on, maybe we get trapped by those boxes. So we have to not be perfect. We have to always strive to not think we've got all the answers, or we're perfect, or this is what we do. And even if it confuses people, and people have said to me sometimes, "Oh, you don't brand yourself properly." Instant Cafe's brand is very unclear. And it used to bother me before. I used to think, "Oh yeah, I'm so bad at branding." Now I think, "Oh, I'm so glad," because I'm not interested in branding. I'm interested in being an artist. I'm interested in actually trying to understand myself and my fellow artists and see what's going on with them. Whereas if I'm trying to sell you something,
we're not selling product.
not a product. No, and Instant Cafe, I don't think theatre should be a product. And if it eventually it gets an identity, then that's fine. It's like a country. And that's why I'm very against the branding of One Malaysia and things like this. Don't brand the country. Let the country become what it is. And it will become what it is because we'll be listening to each other. We'll be sensitive. We're trying to hear and feel what the other person is about. And we're prepared to be vulnerable in front of each other as well. And I think that's what's important. So I think for me, theatre is like a microcosm of a country, really. We are just, we're trying to listen and trying to tell stories.
In my 4 years of being involved in theatre, there's this one phrase that always sticks in my head. It's theatre memanusiakan manusia. And I I it really did manusiakan manusia. In other words, it makes you more humane. Although when you're acting, or like when people are acting, they're becoming other people. But actually, as Joe said, it makes us know ourselves more, be aware of what is going on. Actually, what is trying to understand other people, especially people in our own country. Yeah, that's
Well, and I love that you say this, right? It's because, when we are children, we are always playing games with each other, right? And I think childhood play is so important because when you play as a child, you're constantly trying to be somebody else, right? And later in life, your grown-ups will say to you, you learn to walk in somebody else's shoes. Well, that's exactly what I was trying to do when I was a child. I was trying to walk in somebody else's shoes. I was doing make-believe. I was playing. And that is the best way, I think, to understand other people, is to make believe that you are them. Then they can never be somebody separate from you. You're constantly trying to understand them. You are being that person as well. And I think that maybe, we talk so much about racial polarization in this country. I think we need a lot more schools doing playtime and getting a lot more students to play, role play, with to overcome some of these, barriers that get put in the way. Yeah. And be each other.
Yeah, I think it's not memperkasakan manusia. It's more like memanusiakan manusia, like you said earlier, right? Because I have problem with people talking about memperkasakan sesuatu, right? So it's memanusiakan manusia. It's no point memperkasakan anything, because when you memperkasakan anything, you are imposing superiority on certain stuff. So stop memperkasakan things. Let's memanusiakan things.
Wow. In other words, memanusiakan also means that, being a human, we are born with, we have our weaknesses, we have our strengths. So being manusia is actually like accepting all that. The beautiful part of you, the ugly part of you, like everything. So, and yeah, I find it very like, it's simple, theater memanusiakan manusia, but it sticks in my head till today. It's kind of like, it's what keeps me going. So when Joe mentioned about being other people and role playing, being actually, I just wanted to share that, like previously in theater, I've been a ghost. I've been a cockroach with sungut, and actually with sayap, and my face is black. Apa lagi I've been a newscaster. Yeah, but the the first theater I was a doctor kind of, which is a human lah. But I actually most enjoyed being not human, non-human, macam cockroach and then the ghost. Yeah.
Because you play. Because you play.
Yeah, and actually the apa? Even our posture pun different semua kan. My latest one, I became the fashion designer. A simple wife lah, with macam crisis with her husband. So yeah, but I still enjoyed being non-human. So I didn't understand when Joe said that.
The red sack ready.
Be careful.
You're safe.
Oh my God, that's a huge bottle of.
I'm worried that you have your rucksack so handy, Chris.
I've been because of the MCO, the previous MCO, and this one, I've been clearing out my study. In fact, this room has been unoccupiable and unusable for about years. It's actually not usable for years. A friend of mine came in, she said, "Look, I'll help you, we'll clear out the room." And that's exactly what she did. So I've had my room back maybe in just over the last 2, 3, 4 months, something like that. So yes, this comes in handy, yeah.
It's very unusual for anyone to have rucksack by their side during a talk show. But, okay. So, all right. That's a very good introduction. How about CK? I read about you, and you had a production called Searing Production, right? And one thing that really attracts me is in your bio, there's this sentence where you said Theater kita jalan siring-siring dengan cerita pinggir-pinggir. We are walking on the edge, listening to silent stories, breaking barriers, building bridges.
Oh, okay.
So, this series in production, like, are you still actively in it?
I started Siling production when I decided to come back Malaysia and work in theatre. That was in 2019. But mainly the company is just a vehicle for me to try to work on issues or work that I'm interested. And the works that I'm interested is always like what your descriptions say, breaking barriers and building bridges. The name Siring itself is a Malay word, but it might not be a Malay word that is familiar to a lot of Malaysians, mainly because it's the word that is mainly used in Sabah. So I'm from Sabah. So Siring is actually tepi.
Ah.
Yeah. So siring. So we are jangan jalan siring. So it's a word that is a very colloquial Sabahan Malay word that we use. So when you hear people have smattering a word of siring, then you know that person must be from Sabah. So like I think we mentioned just now, it's not a brand, but it's an identity. So I think the identity that I want to project is that yeah, I'm from Sabah. I'm very proud of it. But also know that I want to do work that are building bridges and breaking barriers. So it can, the barriers I'm talking about, it can be race or any categories that you can use to divide people. So let's break that up and build a bridge. So the first work that I come back to do was a Malay production called IQ Rock. So I was being invited by the writer and director to become the producer for IQ Rock. It's a restaging that time. So that is my first foray in the Malaysian theatre scene, I would say. Then I was involved in a bit of production with Ridwan Saidi. Ridwan Saidi is the writer, director, while mainly in also Malay language work. So yeah, and in 2020, Joe asked me to join her, which I was like, it's such a privilege. So the company of Siling Production is still there, but now I'm a full-time producer with Instant Cafe Theatre. So Siling Production also do some extra, some other projects like short film, where I personally was, I am still working closely with a fellow Sabahan director called Putri Purnama Sugua. So she's a passionate filmmaker involved in a lot of short films about Sabahan stories and also stateless community. So that's the status of Siling Production, but now I'm a full-time Instant Cafe Theatre producer.
I see.
Yeah, but I see what Instant Cafe Theatre is trying to do is fitting what I want to do, even with Siling Production. So yeah, it's a rare and precious opportunity for me to be able to do this. Yeah.
And I for one feel very lucky to have CK to work with. So yeah, it's been. I mean, the only thing I feel a bit sad about is he came to join Instant Cafe, and then this whole year has been completely not what anybody imagined. But at the same time, it's been nice having somebody like CK by my side. I can't imagine what it would have been like, I think, being alone in this sort of kind of situation. So it's always important. I think theatre is such a communal act, really. And, yeah. I was earlier. Earlier, your colleagues were saying there are 20 people involved in
yeah.
tonight. Amazing. I think, and we always say it takes a village, but it really does take a village to put up a production, to get things going, and it's something which a lot of people don't understand is how many people it takes to do something which, from the audience, looks it's seamless, but they don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, and we really need more people in Malaysia, I think, to join the theatre.
Yeah.
Because there is, I know it's people think it's a very unstable profession, but actually, if you want to work backstage, it's pretty stable. Well, except for this year. This year, nothing is stable.
Nothing is stable.
But I think this year also open up some um s- some some opportunities for backstage people that might be like, for example, people who might have experience doing streaming, doing recording. So even though, I mean, I try to be positive here, of course, even though it sounds a bit negative, but I think it forced a lot of people trying to look at things differently and try to find ways. Yeah, yeah. So the village might change,
Yeah.
but I think it will be more exciting. It will be a bigger and more interesting village that we are talking about.
Yeah, so we recently started having, working with some people who we've worked with in the past to film our work, because we knew that we would need to kind of take our work more digital. And of course, these are people I've worked with in the past. But in the past, when we've done a play, they're kind of like an afterthought. Well, we're going to do a play, then come on the last day and film it. But now we're working with them at the beginning of the production. We're meeting with them at the start. So suddenly we are changing our relationship. So this is kind of a new appreciation of other people to say, we want to know more about what you do. And they're like, yeah, actually, it's always been a problem for us when you paint your floor this color. It's not a problem with us when you do that with your lights. We're like, okay, well, let's see how we can help each other now. So it's these are all, yeah, it's always, it's like, that's why I say it's a microcosm of a country or the world. You're constantly it's not a fixed it's not a fixed place, right? You're constantly working with new people. You're constantly um,
evolving. Right?
yeah, yeah. And I think actually one of it is that you do meet new people all the time. And if you do a production, you audition actors. Suddenly you're working with people you've never worked with before, and you have a very intense relationship with them, and then you don't see them for years on end when you may work with them again. But that's just the way that it is. And then when you see them again, you feel very close to them still, because when you work with them on such an intense and truthful level that friendship never really goes away.
So when Joe mentioned about when Joe and Siki mentioned about the current situation now, COVID, this COVID situation, and everything is like changing. So what's the biggest effect that has caused to your fellow organizations so far? Let's start with Chris.
Well, okay, just to give you a bit of an idea, last year when COVID, we had just finished production of 24 Jam dalam 37 tahun, play written by Khairi Anwar from Anomalous Production. We finished that play on a Sunday, and the MCO literally started on the very first MCO started on a Wednesday. So then we thought, oh, great, we can relax, we can rest, okay, we'll put out a few things, and never mind, this will blow over, and very quick, we'll be back in the theater in May or something like that. But it just didn't happen, right? I mean, as we all know, and before we knew it, 2 weeks became 1 month, which became 7 months, all in all. So originally, at the very start of the first MCO, I was in rehearsal. I remember for a one-man show that I wanted to tour to Kota Kinabalu, to Sabah. I usually take something to Sabah and Kuching on an annual basis from the theatre company, and also to JB. But that was not to be. I mean, slowly all the dates changed, people dropped out of the project, and ultimately I realized that, first of all, Theatre 316 itself, relies heavily on the finances to the company, right? So for us to be able to put the bill of mounting a production of our own just wasn't possible. So so that was one project that had to sit on the back burner. In fact, it's actually that particular project was a monologue. It was just a monologue, and we thought, hey, wouldn't it be interesting to take this monologue but put it into a SOP compliant, socially distant sort of setting, right? And play with the audience and tease the audience and irritate the audience lah, basically. Okay, it's as simple as that. But as it turns out, that was not meant to be, and that was the same thing that we discovered for at least another 3 more projects. So I had about 4 or 5 projects for that second half of the year that each and every one either got cancelled or postponed, leaving just this one project, which is also due to the economics of things, the present situation of economics. It's a one-man musical. It's actually the latest musical written by Nick Chu. It actually happens to be about a man in lockdown, so it's actually a lockdown musical.
One
Yeah.
can,
And
okay.
you see, that's where the problem is, you see, Alia, because here you are thinking, all right, okay, everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna be ready to, we're gonna go into rehearsals in September and in October, and we're gonna take 2 months, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna be on in December, and that's so much not the case. I mean, we were supposed to go in December, and that didn't happen. Then we said, okay, never mind. We will push it to January. January is not going to happen, obviously, And then we said, okay, we can go to either May, we can go to and right now, with the start of MCO version 2, I said, hey guys, we're now in Plan F.
Plan
Stay
F.
tuned. We'll come back when we have more things to update you with, when things actually really stabilize. I mean, you can work on design. You see, the interesting thing is this, right? When you work on a play, right, you usually set aside about a month to a month and a half, 2 months if it's a musical, right? And then you go straight into your production week. And that's just talking about a normal live performance sort of thing, right? So, I mean, right now, to be frightfully honest, the play that I'm working on right now, the musical that we're working on right now, 50% of the preparation period is already done, right?
Oh, okay.
And I had just announced cheerfully to the group 2 weeks ago. I said, okay, guys, we're all ready to go. January 11th, let's start going. And, we'll put on a week of putting things together, and we'll record it, right? For the week just after Chinese New Year. That was the plan. And then, of course, with mounting numbers and with MCO version 2 announced just like that, right? So we had one session of a second sing through because we were looking at different drafts of the script and reworking it. So that was good for us to revisit the material. But we are on hiatus again. I think my stage manager, I told my stage manager, okay, stage manager, prepare Plan F. I haven't seen any hide or hair Plan F. In fact, I'm going to tell him prepare Plan F, G, and H, right? Because I have this sinking feeling in my heart that this awesome MCO is not going to be over on the 26th of January. I think we're, looking the way things are with 4,000 over cases reported today. I'm sure we're going to go into at least 4 weeks, 6 weeks, that sort of thing. But well, okay, so it's this story of postponing and things. And yes, Theatre 360 we have also been looking at digitizing things. I have to admit there's been a bit of reticence on my part, of course, to put things online, because I really feel that online presentation, although yes, that is the best alternative that we have, it's not really a very viable one. Or maybe where I am right now, in my frame of mind as an artist, as someone who's creating the work, I feel there's so much more to learn. I mean, and hence why. Well, okay, so in this period of this 7 months or whatnot of hiatus, I mean, I am grateful that we've had an opportunity to still do some work. We did a piece called Synesthesia. Synesthesia, which is an online production that was with the Gerak Angin Arts Festival, that was performed in September. It was directed by my company partner Nicole and Thomas, a physical theatre piece. It's still on YouTube right now on the Gerak Angin channel. And as I said, and as you actually mentioned in my biodata just now, I worked on Mad Love, with which was under the Revolution Stage program, Pesta Monologue Volume 5, Monologue at Home. And that was actually really, really interesting, because I mean, with me saying, oh, I don't want to do this film thing, I don't want to do this video thing, then I thought, hey, you know what? I don't think I should, Why are you grinning so widely, CK? But when Abang Wan Khairul Nazwan Rodzi, the artistic director of RS, when he said, "Hey Chris, why don't you try this out?" I thought, okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's see what it's all about, right? There's so many things to learn, so many things to gain, and at the very least, whether you enjoy the process or not, at least you get a template of the process. So you get an idea of what it takes. So um, I really appreciate that process of 1 month. It was actually about 5 weeks working on that particular project because it was all monologues. I was blessed with an awesome cast of 6 actors, which we did online auditions, which is wow, gosh, online online auditions. Wow, I did 2 nights of online auditions, and that almost killed me. But I've heard of people who have done auditions for children's programs and things where they're doing 5 days in a row, full days of auditions, and I'm like, okay, God bless you. But it's learning the things that work, the things that don't work, things that you enjoy, the things that you don't enjoy. Yeah, and also once the product is out there, once the production is out there, it was online on the RS website for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Being able to receive feedback, seeing how audiences respond to a piece, which is really totally different from a live performance. I have to admit, having done a piece specifically for online performance, I have to admit I'm still very much biased towards live performance. I can't. I remember actually in the midst of the process, 96%, 96, 97% of the rehearsals was done online on Zoom, right? Um, done with myself, my stage manager, my actor. And yes, I was blessed with a very a cast that were all out there to absorb as much as they could and put it all out there. But I remember there was one night, I think just before we were going to edit, I had an opportunity to get the entire cast to come over to my place, to just have fun, right? To fellowship, to enjoy each other's company. And towards the end of the night, someone asked me a question. He said, "Oh, Chris, didn't you say you wanted to teach us this particular exercise or theater game?" And I thought, "Oh yeah, okay, let's try it." And there were about 4 people left in the room. There were 4 people left in my house. And in my living room, we started this theater game session.
Yeah.
And that thing was supposed to last for about 5 minutes, but it went on for about half an hour, and at the end of it, I sat there and I thought, gosh, this is really what we're missing,
Yeah.
being in a room with people working organically, and all of this sort of stuff. Because you see, you don't think twice, right? These things just, this is what is needed, this is what we need to do. And I really really missed that. I told my stage manager after that, this is what we should have been doing for the last 4 weeks. We should have been doing silly Zooms. We should have been in the room. We should have been, we should have elevated the work, to that degree. But but overall, I am very grateful and very thankful for that platform to be able to try it, right? CK, we gotta try, right? Or else you don't know, right? You gotta try. You gotta see how.
Gotta adapt, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
We have no choice.
Yeah, we have to adapt. We have to adapt. We have to keep adapting. Yeah, so keeping ourselves open, adapt. So yeah, I mean that's where Theatre 360 is, and of course we started the year, of course, with our plans. Come hell, brimstone, and fire. This good old musical is gonna get recorded. Crossing my fingers and crossing my toes. We want to get this thing recorded. And as you can understand, the musical is based on the first MCO, right? The period of March through to May. So the longer we take to record this thing, the more dated the information is going to become, until you end up with things where you're going to do, your epilogue of 20 years ago, what it was. So those are the challenges, those really are the challenges. Yeah.
I really hope that your plan F works.
I really hope so too. Yeah.
In this COVID situation, it's true. We got to have a lot of plans. Even in our events, a lot of our plans are not working. Luckily, that people are still staying together and actually discussing.
Can I say, Alia? Sorry to interrupt, but can I
No,
say that theater people, the theater community, the arts community are the most stubborn, the most resilient lot of people there are around. I dare to say that, and it's just some pure stubbornness, pure resilience. Yes, it helps the community, it helps the support from friends, family, friends, that sort of thing. But I think underlying it all, when you hit plan F and you hit plan, P and Q, I mean, God
You still
forbid.
want to do it, right?
Yeah, but because the goal is clear, the target is clear. This is what we want to say. This is how we want to say it. This is what's going to project realizing and understand. This is the sacrifice that needs to be made, and then everything happens from there. You know. But really, it's very much stubbornness. It's very much resilience. You know, and I have to admit, I mean. For all of us in the theatre community, I mean, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a professional, it doesn't really matter. For anyone who loves the theatre, for anyone who loves that thing, the magic of theatre, to not be able to do it, right? I mean, it's and it gets tiring, doesn't it? It gets tiring mustering up the stubbornness, mustering up the resilience. I almost said resistance, resilience. Right, but you know that's really what it's all about, and being able to change, you know.
Totally, I agree when Chris said that theater people have that stubbornness and resilience. Yeah, I cannot deny.
Like we do with more stubbornness and more resilience.
I've had people saying that I'm stubborn and like yeah, totally.
Next time somebody says stubborn, just say thank you.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip. Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
Embrace our stubbornness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can be stubborn in good ways too. Actually.
Yes, almost definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. How about ICT and how's CK and Joe coping with our situation now? Is it under control, or are you going for the online platform like Chris? How's things going now?
Joe, you want to say something first?
Sure. I mean, listening to Chris's story, it's very similar. Of course, you're about to you plan a production and then you can't go ahead with it. So that's happened with us a few times as well. Of course, Ali, this happened with MMU as well. So you took your production that was originally done in one format and you transformed it into a radio. Right? So you adapted it in some way. So and we have a similar story to Chris in that last April we were supposed to come and then came spring. So we've been working with a refugee theatre company now for the last couple of years, 2 years, I think.
2 years.
3 years. The first thing we did together was Blank, which was July 2019. Yes, so
3 years.
Almost 22 years in July. And I guess I met them about 3 years ago. And they're Afghan community theatre company. And I with them and started working with them. So again, you see, language is not really enough, right? And at first, I would speak to Saleh always through a translator, and he would always speak in Farsi, and I would reply in English, and the translator would translate. And after a while, I said to him, why don't you just speak and I'll try to understand you in mixture of Farsi and English, because sometimes going through the translator, it was too formal in a way. So, we've become friends over the years, and we decided we wanted to collaborate and do a production together. Of course, he does his own theatre. He has his own theatre company, but we felt if they were to work with Instant Cafe, there'd be a different purpose. So one of the purposes was we wanted people to know that there are refugees in this country and what they face, the problems that they face, the discrimination that they face, the difficulties that they face. I mean, Malaysia accepts refugees, but it doesn't give refugees the rights to work, healthcare, education. So sometimes we say, well, why do we take refugees in if we don't give them basic rights, basic human rights? So, and of course, as you know, Instant Cafe has always been a company which wants to examine this idea of your basic human rights, which is your freedom to be treated with dignity, your freedom to be seen as a human being, the freedom of expression, and all the other things that come with it, education, healthcare, etc., etc. and a lack of prejudice. We thought, well, one way would be to what Instant Cafe to work with them and then present their show to the public, so that what we would be sharing, in fact, would be not just their story, but we'd be sharing a room. So for me, it was that we would, in the audience, we would have people from all these different communities, because this is for me also what is important about the theatre. It's where every kind of person can come along. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what your linguistic background is. It doesn't matter what your social background is. For me, theatre should be a very democratic space. That's why we try to keep our theatre prices not too high, so that we can really all find ways to get people who cannot afford a ticket to get a ticket for free. And because we wanted to have people sitting in the same room with people who are disadvantaged, who are disadvantaged, and to ask the audience to ask why. Why does this person sitting next to me not have the same rights as me? Why is that person who live there have to struggle in this way and I don't? If I were to give them those rights, would that take away anything from me? A lot of the time I think we're being told, oh, if we give rights to these refugees, if we give rights to these migrants, then we will suffer. We will have less. And to take away that quality of fear that exists in this country. Unfortunately, the play that we were supposed to do, because of the first MCO, we couldn't do it. So so like Christy, we waited. We thought, yeah, in a few months, of course, we will. And we've tried to do it at various points. It hasn't worked out. So we had actually planned to do it in January, end of January, but to do it as a film production. Of course, now we can't do that either. But it made me stop and ask myself and Saleh and CK, well, why are we doing this play again? And I think it's always very important, right, Chris? Right? Always ask, why are you doing something? What is your original purpose? And we realized our original purpose was to get people in the same room. That's why we first wanted to do it. We wanted people to meet in the lobby. It wasn't just what was happening on stage. It was about the mingling of people before the theatre, after the theatre. And we decided Plan F. And Plan F is full stop. Not full stop. No, plan F is we don't know. We wait till we know. But the play's there. We will continue to meet each other online. We will continue to know this is what we want to do. But we will wait till we can do it with audiences. Because I think ultimately that was what we realized was the most important thing to us.
Yeah.
At the same time, as CK said earlier, you have to make plans to what did you say, CK? You make plans to break them.
No, the plan is to have no plan, right?
Although maybe I would adapt to that and say the plan is to have a plan and then break the plan. Yeah. So maybe we will find, okay, if things relax a bit, we may think, well, you know what, maybe we will film it. But one of the things I said to Saleh is, even if we film it, for me, that's just one version. But as soon as we can get a theatre and an audience come into the theatre, we will put that play into the theatre. That is something that is necessary for that production. It may not be necessary for another production, right? Because where we don't need to get the audience to have that relationship. But here, the real purpose was to get the audience to have that relationship with each other. So then I think we need to wait for that day.
That's good. So when you said that you work with the refugees, it's I see it as like you're trying to make like art, performing arts, expressing in art, performance art shouldn't be a privilege. It should be for everyone, right? Even the refugees. So yeah,
I mean, I remember many years ago at Instant Cafe, we were lucky enough to get a grant from the Goethe Institute, and we had a German dramaturg come and do a series of workshops with us, with new writers, a writing workshop. And one of the things that she said, which really struck me, was that in Germany, they regard theatre as being like a basic right. So theatre tickets are really cheap. She said it's like a basic right, like water, electricity, roads, sewage. That is the right to watch theatre. And in countries like Brazil, for example, you get a kind of an allowance to buy a theatre ticket or a ticket to go to a museum, or a ticket to go to an art gallery, right? So you get a kind of allowance to because they know that your value as a human being is not just yourself as a digit, a kind of a productive digit. Your value as a human being is your value as a human being. So comes back to this idea is your value is as manusia, not just as somebody who's going to produce something for something. We're not bees in a hive producing for the queen bee.
Yeah.
We are producing for ourselves, and we must take care of ourselves. We must have our own self-worth. We make theatre to express what's going on inside our lives, inside our hearts. And especially who are refugees in this country, or people who are migrants, who are feeling so much that we cannot even begin to understand what they're going through. They need some way to express what's going on, right? And that's why there's been wonderful initiatives by people who have done refugee festivals, migrant poetry festivals, and because we have to stop seeing people who come here from other countries as being less than us. Not, yeah. And so I think we wanted to kind of create some space to remember that.
Yeah, but I think unfortunately in Malaysia, it's not that loud. That we should be just humans, and people just always focus on like us being the producers. Is that the right word? Like of something, right?
Yes.
Rarely people talk about us just like being ourselves, being enough as us, and art is a very, very personal, how can I say it? It's like it makes you feel yourself, makes you know yourself more. So that's, I think it's like the pathway for people to know more about themselves and like be themselves more instead of just focusing on having to do this, having to do that. Yeah, it's a bit sad, but yeah, it's good to be aware of it.
You said it just now, right?
Yeah.
Kita memanusiakan manusia. So
Mm.
not just theatre, art in general, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Humanizes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And Alia, just now you said not many, right? People are talking about this. So I think that's why I don't know, I think all of us here is very excited to see, students like you, the TAMU team, who's actually so enthusiastic about theatre. To a certain extent, sometimes I felt that even the theatre student who study theatre might not be as enthusiastic as you guys. So this is good. This is we're happy to see this because
Thank
because
you.
you'll be part of the ecosystem that all of us trying to build here.
Yeah.
You'll be part of the community that all of us try to build here. So thank you for that actually.
Oh, thank you for that. You guys have like put part of your life into theater, and now we have something that we can actually refer to, and like there is people actually out there, especially in Malaysia, that really appreciates theater and sees theater as something that where people express themselves and be true to themselves, and points out the real issues in our country, and I find that really inspiring.
Like it's if I can just want to build a little bit on what we're saying here, because earlier Chris asked this big question where he questioned what is Malaysian theatre, and I even asked, well, what is theatre? Because theatre is not just what you see on a stage, right? Theatre is, for me, it's a way of thinking about how to give space to people, right? How to give platforms to people. So this is, for me, an act of theatre, so that getting together, as you say, and talking. You can't go to your coffee shop anymore, but the act of talking now, this is also such an important part of theatre, because it means that it's not, it doesn't just end when the curtain comes down.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going, and it's the ripple effect of theatre.
Yeah.
Right? If at the end of the theatre you walk out and you've got nothing to talk about, that piece of theatre has failed. because it doesn't move you, doesn't make you think, you have nothing to say. I'd rather go watch something bad and have something to talk about later than to go watch something boring or predictable or dull. But you must, you want to do something that's going to make people say, why did they do that? What would I mean, I remember, like, I won't name any names, but some back in the past when I used to go and watch some shows, I used to think, oh God, I really don't like this, but I want to know why they're doing it. And I could be very excited by some theatre which I didn't particularly like, but I was very interested to know why. Why and what they were looking for, because they're artists. So I know they must be looking for something. So then you can find something. You find what it is that they're trying to find as well. And that's important. Intention is very important.
Also, I want to add that in TAMU, we're really amateurs, we have done only our own productions. We appreciate our own talents, like the writers, although we're not into that, high level just yet. But we try to see theatre beyond just a performance. That's the talk show now. It's even the main goal of the cause of this show, the reason why we have the show is because we miss the theatre talk, with theatre people. And I'm really grateful that we have this talk tonight with you guys. It's really mind opening, honestly. Theatre is not just on stage. It's everything before, during, and after the staging itself. That's really mind opening to me. So
this is what they do, right? Step.
Yes.
Just finish already.
Okay, so we have like about 5 minutes before break. Let's have everyone is already like taking a break. Another 5 minutes before break. Okay. Or do you want to have your break now? Refill your drinks or go to the toilet. So let's have our break now, and later when we come back, maybe like we can talk a bit on how you discover theatre and actually why you're still in theatre. And then later we'll have Q&A sessions from our audience. Okay, is that okay?
Yes.
Is everyone okay? Yeah, we need a break in this online event. All right. So before we go to our break, I would like to promote something to the audience. Okay. Meanwhile, our guests can you can refill your drinks and all. It's just okay. So for those who are watching this lecture, thank you for still staying. Don't forget to follow TAMU CYB. It's TAMU CYB on Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Theatre at MMU. So if you want to go and have a rest for a while, we'll be back in 10:10.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, 10:15. 10:15.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the break. Okay, break.
started on track.
Hi everyone. So we're back live in our YouTube. So I hope everyone is re-energized for this second session after the break because I have refilled my drink and our guest also has refilled their drinks. Even Chris has changed to another drink, not a juice anymore, and Siki has his teapot nearby. So very prepared. Okay, yes, I'm very prepared tonight. All right. So before we start our second session, I would like to just promote a bit to our audience tonight that TAMU is not only holding this event, we also have another event for you, which is called Ringan FM, where it's a platform where everyone, well, we have a few performers doing a live performance. So if you miss going to concerts or you just want to listen to some live jamming session, this is the event for you. It's going to be in February, so stay tuned at our Instagram, Tamu CYB. Okay, enough with that. And also, we're going to have merch coming soon. So let's start this session. Joe, CK, and Chris, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. So I have another question before we move to our Q&A session. So the question is, I think I'm very curious of this question of everyone who is involved in theater. So what actually makes you stay in theater? Since we're running out of time, let's make it in maybe like 3 sentences per person. Is that okay? So so what makes you stay in theater until today, for after like almost tens of years being in the theater and the industry, facing challenges, but you choose to stay? So maybe we can start with Joe.
I think I'm always hoping that I'll find and be able to put on stage the next great play that will mean something to people, that will really speak to them.
So actually, to put something into the next play for the people.
To find.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
To develop with help somebody develop, a playwright develop, or to develop myself, or get somebody else to develop and work with somebody to create that play, which will be a play that really speaks to audiences. So I'm always living in that hope that that the next one will be even better.
Ah, I see. Okay, I understand. So to develop, to have to develop another play where people can watch, which is better than the previous one. So you're always aiming.
No, it's not. It's not even wanting. It's not aiming. It's just you ask me why I stay.
Mm-hmm.
I stay because I have a hope.
Ah, okay.
I have hope that if I stay, one day I can be part of in some way. I don't know what my role will be, to help put on stage a play that will really affect people, that will speak to people, that will move people. And if I can I can be part of that in some way. So I continue because I have this hope inside me.
I see. Okay. All right.
Chris.
That's good. How about Chris?
Okay. When I first got interested in theater many years ago, it was because of a movie. And I sat in the back of my father's car trying to decide, do I want to go into film or do I want to go into theater? I did theater because you get immediate response from the audience, right? The audience tells you straight away. They either throw things at you or they boo you off the stage if they don't like your work, and vice versa, right? So for me, the thing that sticks with me is because when I started off wanting to be a director. I didn't want to be an actor. I did the acting just to understand what an actor does. That's not my primary interest. My primary interest has always been directing. So being the megalomaniac that I am, My answer is that it's such a privilege, Alia, it's such a privilege to be in charge of the experience of an audience from the moment they step out their cars into the lobby of a theater, when they're looking at your front of house display, when they take their tickets from the box office, when they sit in their seats in the theater itself, in the black box, in the amphitheater, whatever it might be, outdoor, indoor, it doesn't really matter. Watch a whole play, and then exactly what Joe says, 1000%, they leave the theater and they are talking about the work. I like this character. I like this scene. I appreciate this theme. I don't understand why they did that. I want to know why they did that. Because if your audience leaves the theater and they go, oh, where are we going to have Tita Red next? Whatever. Yeah, then you've wasted that. So for me, it is a golden opportunity to be able to speak to people, influence people, and be part of that process of manusiakan manusia, right? Being part of that process, being able to present the human condition so that people can engage with what they see, and this discussion begins. Yeah.
So Chris, you what makes you stay in theater is you want to still experience, to be in charge of the
It's
audience.
the privilege of being an artist, right? It's the privilege of being able to say as an artist, or having this avenue of expression. I would think, and an avenue of expression that has afforded so many interesting twists and turns, in this whole process. Yeah, and we're constantly learning, right? It's ongoing training. We're all training all the time. We're learning all the time. Yeah.
It's like it's always, it's like every show that we have, there's always room for improvement.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And in theater, the criticisms, the comments, they come like instantly, and that experience.
You get, sorry, Alia, to interrupt. You get the feedback more or less instantaneously.
Yeah.
Right? You get the feedback quite quickly. But one thing that I've learned for myself anyway, because you see, there are a lot of people out there that want to criticize. There are a lot of people out there in 2 seconds, they think they're a better actor than you, a better director than you, a better set designer than you, a better anything than you. Yeah, but you see, ultimately they have paid the price of the ticket and just sat in their seat and watched the piece and they give their comments. But we as the artists have been the ones who have spent the time. We have sacrificed the time and the effort to be able to put together this. So for myself anyway, yes, we will get lots of comments, lots of criticism, and that's good and fine and awesome. But for me, something that really helps is to be very, very selective about the people that I want the feedback from. So whenever people give feedback, I say thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But if there is specific input that I want, or criticism or whatever it might be, like for instance for Mad Love, I went and spoke to specific people, right? The person who has lots of knowledge about filmmaking, the one who knows squat about filmmaking, the English theatre practitioner, because they will have kinds of different opinions and things. So that's something that's been helpful. Yeah. But yes, there is a place for criticism. There is a place for feedback. Yes, and you're always growing, right? Your work your work has to grow. In a rehearsal process, you don't do 5 run-throughs that are the same. You always I always say, give me a run-through that is better. Okay, it might be on the same part or better. Try and improve. Try and learn. Try and discover something new. Else, what's the point of doing all these run-throughs for? There's no real point. We get better. We have to improve. We need to. Or rather, if we're not, it's okay. Let's understand why. Let's sit back, understand. That's where the feedback comes in. Yeah.
In other words, it means, from what I understand and can get from what Chris has said, is that we should never aim for perfection, and there is no perfect show. And then it's like, yes, we should improve and improve, but at the same time, we don't aim for perfection, and I think that's good. In theater,
sorry, Alia. The perfect theater performance does not exist. Well, I don't know. I've seen stuff I've seen stuff that is inspiring me, from 20, 25 years ago. It's still inspiring me, and I still pray that I can do a production that is at that level, at that standard of production values and things. But yeah, you can never put on something that's perfect. It's not possible. You should don't chase perfection. Always realize that the most important thing is to do your best, right? Do your best. For me, with Mad Love, I've never produced anything online for screen before, for theater for screen. So I just told myself, Chris, all you can do is just do your best. So I went in as a theater director, directing a play that was then shot, and I tried to play around with things, and that's good, that's bad, that's great, and that's where I'm learning. Yeah,
that's true. We should never stop learning.
But I would respectfully disagree with you, Chris.
Okay.
In that, I think you should chase perfection, and I don't believe you when you say that you don't. I think we all do. I think we may fail, but we always are chasing perfection. Always. I think that's why we keep going, because we think, I could have done that better. Okay, that production's already gone. Never mind. Next one.
The betterment and improvement. Yes, that continues. Yes.
Because I think most artists are obsessive. Nothing's ever finished.
Yeah.
Right. It's only finished in the eyes of the audience, but not in our eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have to try again in the next show.
I agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. All right. How about Siki? What keeps you stay in theater?
Well, I think the question for me is different, right? I'm quite new. So the 2021 is my third year, going into third year. Maybe I will answer in a way. If I'm going to foresee, you ask me this question 10 years later, for example, I'm going to answer this way. I think the reason I'm going to stay is because I think I have a chance to express myself with a group of people who I consider my I mean, like, found is the people. I think it's the people. When when you work together with the group of people that you share either a vision or value, so I think that is very valuable. So it doesn't matter what the product what the outcome is. It can be a production, it can be maybe there's no production, like what Joe mentioned. Our collaboration with the refugee group is not and it is, there's no production yet, but the process that we've been through, the discussion and the conversation that we have with each other, those are valuables. So I think I'm going to say that I'm going to stay because of that.
Oh, you're gonna say because you found your tribe.
Yeah, I found my tribe. I found my space.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Let's go ahead to the Q&A session. So we have two questions from our audience. First is from Daniel RD. So the question is for Joe. Maybe Joe can answer this. So how do you get rid of a writer's block? Try to maybe you can answer this briefly. So how do you do it, Joe?
Well, it's difficult to answer this question so well. I'll try my best. Is it Daniel who asked this question?
The guest is the viewer is Daniel RD.
Daniel. Okay. So Daniel, I think I would say I'm going to give you two different scenarios depending on where your writer's block is. If the writer's block is at the very beginning and you don't even know like what to write, that's a different thing. Let's say you're in the middle of something. Let's say you're in the middle of a play and you don't know how to go further, or you're in the middle of a prose piece or a poem and you don't know where to go further. If you're in the middle and you're stuck, let's say you're in the middle of a play. So in the past, when I've been in the middle of a play and I'm stuck, I will put my characters somewhere I don't expect them to be. Right? So let's say, I remember many years ago, I was stuck. I was writing a play. I was really stuck. And I had these characters. Some of them were ghosts. So Alia could have played some of them. Some of them were not ghosts. And they were all on this island. And the island was being developed for construction. So they were not very happy about it. The ghosts were not very happy about it. But I needed them to have a conversation about how they were not happy about it. But I wasn't sure how they would talk about it, because you don't want people talking directly about problems in a play. So I ended up deciding to put them somewhere unexpected. So I ended up making them play a game of cricket. So then this dislocated my brain. So you need to dislocate your brain, because if you've got writer's block, because your brain is trying to control what it is you're trying to create. So you need to kind of dislocate it, to let it just do, let your creative brain just come up with a solution to what would be said if they're playing a game of cricket. And you'll know that whatever is the thing that you're trying to say will come through, because you're letting the characters speak themselves. And you're not trying to control the characters and make them say what you need them to say. Because sometimes we get blocked, but the characters actually can have their own life. So that's one piece of advice, if that's where you are. If you're at the beginning of, and you're just, your block is you can't even start, improvise. Get some friends together and do an improvisation. Get friends, and if now you're doing it on Zoom, get your friends to improvise. Give them an idea for a scene, get them to improvise, and then later write from the improvisation.
Okay. So Daniel RD, you answered. You can answer, and I'll help you summarize. So first is dislocate your brain, right? And the second one was
put it somewhere unexpected.
Yes, put it somewhere unexpected. Okay, that's.
I'm also taking notes.
Yeah, and the third one was to get some people to improvise it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So have them give them an idea for a scene, give them a location, give them some characters, ask them to improvise, and that might just help you. Might help unstick you.
So dislocate your brain and try to help people to improvise on it. Okay. All right. Next question is from Hilman Arif. The question is, do you guys think that the government should be involved in nurturing the theatre industry more? If so, what's the most important part they should improve? Okay, maybe CK can answer this.
I was okay. Government's role. Okay. How should I answer this? I think my feedback is this. I think if we start from the basic, we are talking about education, right? So first of all, in the first place, right, there's like no appreciation of art in education. So taking my own example, right, I have a love for language, but I just do not have, I was not intrigued, or the government system, education system actually prohibit me or discourage me to go into arts education. And because also at the same time, I think government put not a lot of emphasis on arts in education. So this becomes a problem because our generation is not exposed to arts, right? So they are not being told, or they are not being exposed of ways to appreciate art. So that what that means is that we do not have audience. People in the industry, people in the theater, fellow practitioners do not have audience. So it becomes a problem. So government maybe should look at education system so that our people, our younger generation, like you all, will have a better appreciation of arts, and they tend to look at things not like, I think we talked about this just now, about being productive, or being human, or citizen is being looked at just somebody who produced something. So if this is the only way to look at human, then we'll never get anywhere. So I think we need to break out from that. So maybe to do that is by education. So first thing, government need to look at our education system. I'm not going to even talk about things like financing, funding, and everything, because I feel that without this basic appreciation of art since young, so people, when they grow up, they will not give funding to it because they don't see value to it. So, and if you don't have audience to appreciate that, then we not get the audience support. So maybe do something about our education system first. That's my answer.
I like the answer. Have a better education system. I mean, improve on the education system so that the younger generation from a young age would appreciate arts.
Yeah, when I say appreciate arts, right, I'm not just talking about having a subject called pendidikan seni or arts education. No, this is the wrong way of doing it. And we always do this, right? So we are talking about teaching the young generation to appreciate arts in the normal life, in a daily life, for example, right? You know, like how our there's so many things. Like this is where the traditional arts come into picture because this is where we as citizens actually exposed to the arts. You know, I'm not even talking about things like theater or everything, but the basic appreciation of beauty of art in our life. Yeah, it starts small. It doesn't need to be. Definitely don't make it like, okay, because we need to appreciate art, so we need to actually have this course, or whatever, because that is always the wrong thing to do. Like for example, when people are asking about how to improve a film quality or whatever, then the first thing the government think, okay, let's aim for Oscar. No, I cringe every time this is coming, is being reported. No, we always do things wrongly. No, if you don't have people and citizens who appreciate and love movies, why you want to actually aim for Oscar? So yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling.
I really like that. Implementing arts in our daily lives. That's how it should be. Arts. It's not just like it's like a mode where okay, I want to be artistic now, and then I want to appreciate arts now, and then the second later, like you're someone who's not. It's every day in our daily life, right? Like every second of our lives. It's everywhere actually. So
Then after that, they can talk about giving us better funding, a better funding structure. See, I have to say this no matter what.
understood. I really hope that will happen in Malaysia. Yeah. Okay. So there goes our two questions. Let's move on to let's give you some platform, some space for you to promote your upcoming works to our audience. So can we start with Chris?
Sure. Theatre 360 right now has got two productions that are on the back burner, the MCO back burner. But we hope very very soon to be recording. Nick Chu's he's a very well known musical theatre practitioner here in Malaysia. His musical is entitled Me, My Seth, and I. And as I mentioned to you all, it's about this one character that is in lockdown. It's totally SOP compliant, social distancing, everything, 1000% guaranteed. Yeah, no coronavirus here. Yeah, so we're hoping to get that recorded sometime soon, and that will be out towards hopefully in the middle or sometime the second half of the year. Another project that Theatre 360 has been involved is we are currently in talks is with Revolution Stage as well. Abang Wan runs a whole variety of classes. One of his classes is an intermediate acting class. Which I've had the privilege of directing a showcase for them for his very first class last year. So this year it's happening again. So I'm teaching his class Lakonan and directing a production for them. So Abang Wan is writing the script. In BM, it's entitled Sewa Buno. And that is going to be presented in the new Petaling Jaya Performing Arts Centre, PJ Pack. I think the target was supposed to be sometime in March, but of course now with our good friend MCO, we'll just have to see. So those are the two upcoming projects from 360. We have other things in the pipeline as well, but some of them are things like script workshops and little bits and pieces. Also, something that we do on a yearly basis is our Actors Gym program, an actor training program run by Nicole and Thomas and Kaha Akila. They handle it's actually a 16-week program on acting as well. So those are the few little bits and pieces we have ongoing at the moment. You can of course pop onto our Facebook and Instagram for more information. Yeah. Thank you.
So your Facebook and Instagram are?
Yes. Theatre 360.
Theatre
360.
360.
Yeah.
All right.
And we run most of our activities out of our base at Loteng, which is in Subang Jaya in USJ Taipan. If you know the Nando's and the Inside Scoop, we're just across the road.
Okay.
You can
Everything is online, is it?
Sorry?
The events so
These
far
two
are.
events, I'm hoping, the musical is to be recorded for online streaming, and the Abang One's collaboration with us, Revolution Stage collaboration with us, we hope to put it on as a live performance. At least that's what the talk is right now, because we're also part of companies that are using PJ Pack and helping the people there, get used to all these different types of things that are happening. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Most welcome.
How about CK? And Joe?
Okay, for this year, we had a production that was postponed because of MCO, originally scheduled in January, and because of this MCO and the uncertainties, we decided we want to actually wait until the time that is really stable for us to actually do it again. Other than that, the general plan for this year is actually focusing a lot on development. So we have this program called First Works, which when it was being started, maybe more than about 10, 15 years ago, Joe. Yeah, so the program is actually a writing program intended to nurture new works, new writers, which we successfully staged a few of Instant Cafe's iconic productions from that First Work program. So we want to start that again this year. So we have a few new writers and new works to be developed. So when we say develop, that means we do a lot of readings, workshopping, and also maybe some showcase as well. That depends on MCO and all the program. At the same time, because we want to reintroduce First Work, we will actually do some record screenings of the previous works that First Work produced. For last year, we did restaging of Para, which we turned into a Zoom online live performance. So we still have a few more works from First World Program before, besides Para, that we hopefully we are able to screen it online. I think mainly that is kind of like things that we are quite firm to do without any expected interference from the MCO, because all these are done online. But of course, if we are able to be together and to be in the same space again, I'm sure we will have things popping out. But at this moment, I think a lot of them are still in back burner. So we want to stage something, definitely, right, Joe? But I think
maybe we can talk about the comedy, the political comedy, the political.
Oh yeah. Yes.
We do plan to do a new political comedy. I don't know if the word comedy is right anymore, but a new political show. We don't know what the show, we don't know the nature of it yet. So all we know is we want to create something that in some way will be reflective of what's been going on in the country for the last 2 years.
Yep.
Last year and a half.
Yep.
We know that it will use comedy as a kind of form, and that it will be satirical in some way. But we would prefer to do it live. But if we really have to explore the option of it being online, we might have to do that. But we prefer not to. It's very hard to do comedy online without an audience. You need, more than any other form, I think you need an audience to respond off.
Yeah.
But as CK said, those are things which we are just putting there in the back burner. If things shift, then we will quickly switch pans to the front burners. But in the meantime, the front burner, we're going to focus on development. So if you think you've got a play in you, or if you think or a story that in you, or you want to develop something, Daniel, who's got writer's block, let us know.
And to do that, you can follow us in our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and also Twitter. So Facebook, Instagram is Instant Cafe Theatre. For Twitter, our handle is ICTWTEETS. So ICT tweets with 3 E's.
3 E's, all right.
Yes.
So guys, don't forget to follow Joe and CK's works on IC tweets.
IC tweets in Twitter, in
Yeah,
Facebook and Instagram is Instant Cafe Theatre.
All right. And Chris
Follow
works and Chris's work on Facebook and Instagram, Theatre 360.
Theatre 360, one word. Yeah.
Theatre 360, one word. Yeah. Theatre 3 as in words, right? Not the number.
360, yeah.
Okay.
Not 360. If you hit Theatre 360, you will hit a British children's theatre company.
Oh.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe a few years back. Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. Now we're nearing to the end of our talk show tonight, unfortunately. So let's have could we have some advices from you? I think it would be a waste if to not have some advices from our respected guests. So let's start with Joe. Just in a maybe short time, like what advices would you give to us, especially to students?
We talked earlier about finding your tribe,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's only don't be tribal. Don't be tribal. Don't stay in your silo. Don't stay in your closed area. Don't stay in your social or ethnic or religious grouping. Get to know other people very different from you and welcome them through your creativity.
Right. That's a good advice. Don't be tribal and welcome everyone to your creativity.
Through your creativity.
Through your creativity. Okay, that's good. Wow. Okay. How about CK?
I'm trying narrowing it down to maybe the demographic of your university students, everything. I might want to address that. Maybe I think just try everything. Don't limit yourself, just try out whatever you're studying, whatever you're doing now. It doesn't stop you from trying something different. Go for it at whatever age, of course.
Oh, okay, go for it. Guys, thank you Joe, and thank you CK. How about Chris? Any words for us?
Be stubborn. Know what you want. Be stubborn. Know what you want. Go for it. Go and get it. The only one who will stop you ultimately from getting what you want is you, not anybody else or any other thing. It's you. The biggest battle is you.
Wow.
Within yourself. But be stubborn. Be stubborn in that positive sense, right? Be resilient. Be stubborn. And if you know that's what you want, go for it.
All right. I like how we use MMU's catchphrase a lot tonight. Go for it. Go for it. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah. Thank you, MMU. Okay. So guys, as what they said, let's not be tribal. Be open and let people through our creativity, and then don't limit yourself and be stubborn and go for it. Okay, I hope I get that right, guys. Okay, now we're actually at the end of our talk show already. I'm sure our guests are quite tired already. Doing an online discussion through online meeting is not that easy. It's actually quite tiring. I think deprives our energy more than physical meetings, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's for
you
sure.
gotta stare at the screens for like hours. So yeah, we don't want to waste our guest time no more. So I would like to thank our very talented, amazing, insightful guests tonight, Christopher Ling, Joe Kukatas, and CK Time for making time to join us tonight. It's a big honor to have you guys in our talk show tonight. I'm sad that this is going to end, but I hope we'll be able to talk again soon, or like our paths come across soon. Maybe we can like we want to learn more from.
Come watch our
Sorry?
show.
Yes. Yes, we will. We hope that it's physical, but if it's online, we will watch it anyways. So, and also thank you to our lovely audience tonight for tuning in to this show tonight. I hope all of us, I hope this has piqued your interest in joining theater production, and also like give you an insight of what theater actually is and how. And as we said earlier, theater memanusiakan manusia. But as the discussion goes, art memanusiakan manusia, seni memanusiakan manusia, right? Okay. I hope that everyone enjoyed their nights tonight, because I do. I hope our guests enjoy themselves tonight and our audience as well. Thank you again for being with us tonight. And with that, I would like to apologize for any misspoken words or mistakes. I am very honored to be here with you in the same platform tonight, and I hope that thank you for all the advices, for all the sharings, the knowledge that you have given to us. So, all right. So how we're going to end this is that we're gonna have our guest tonight to wave to our audience, and then as well, maybe you want to say goodbye or anything, and then we're gonna end the live streaming. Oh, all right. See you guys soon. Take care and stay safe.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for
Stay
having us.
safe. Stay safe.
Bye, CK. Bye,
Yeah.
Chris.
Take care.
Take
And thank you,
you
Alia.
too.
Wear your mask.
Bye, Chris.
Social distancing. All right. Bye, guys. Bye. All right. Okay. So we hope you enjoyed the talk show tonight. I really had fun with them. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Before that, I would like to remind you guys to follow TAMU CYB at TAMU CYB Instagram, and then stay tuned for our upcoming event, Ringan FM, which is going to be a virtual live concert. So we're gonna have amazing talents from TAMU, and also TAMU is also coming out with our own merch. So stay tuned with that on TAMU CYB, okay, guys? And we hope that we can give you more insights. Maybe we're gonna have another episode. Not sure when, but TAMU Talk with maybe another issue, not just about theater. So because theater is a way for us to convey message, right? So we need to know more about more things. So yeah, stay tuned, and thank you guys for joining us tonight. I hope you guys are still okay after 2.5 hours. 1.5 hour.
It's longer than our production.
Yes, it's even longer than the guest's production. Okay, so see you guys soon. Take care, stay safe. A very good night, and thank you. Bye bye.
Bye again.
planet on set